Hi, my name is Cynthia Kramer. I'm a librarian at Joliet Junior College, and I would like to talk about demystifying copyright. So there are two rationales of copyright. There's a utilitarian approach that creators need to be incentivized or financially compensated for the items that they create in order for them to continue to create. And there's also the concept of authors' rights, that authors need to have attributions to their works, especially if they're digital, and the integrity of the work is protected. So both of these rationales are reasons to have copyright. So what can be copyrighted? So the copyright law has listed 8 items. So that includes literary works, musical works that could contain words, dramatic works, so theater that could contain music, choreographic works, pictorial, graphic, and sculpture, motion picture and audio video, sound recordings, and architectural. So those are items that can be copyrighted. Things that can't be copyrighted are a little bit more intangible. So that would be an idea, a procedure, process, system, method of operation, concept, principle, and a discovery. So those things are non-copyrightable. So besides copyright, there's 2 other intellectual property laws. So there's trademarks, so trademark law. So if someone has a trademark, it keeps other companies from using that trademark. So popular trademarks are any fast food. So the M for McDonald's, picture of Wendy for Wendy's, brands like Nike, Adidas. So that's how trademarks. And then patent. So I think of patents when I think of inventions. I think of patents when I think of new medicines, right? So for a limited time, the creators of those patented items have the exclusive rights to make them and sell them. So how do you get copyright? Well, the beauty is that it automatically happens when your work is created. And in some countries, they do require it to be in a fixed medium so that there's something tangible that can be attached to the copyright. Public domain. So even when I teach classes, students are pretty aware of public domain. So these are items that are not subject to copyright. And why might that be? So either the copyright expires, so either they're old works, so the 70 years after death has occurred. Copyright's not applicable to that type of item. A creator can dedicate something to the public domain, or in past when there were different formalities you had to maintain copyright. If you didn't follow through with all of that, you could lose your copyright as well. Typically that would be like descendants of the creator, right? An example I can think of is like Sherlock Holmes. Like part of Sherlock Holmes is in the public domain and part of it is still copyrighted. So there are exceptions and limitations to copyright. So the way you could there's 2 ways to do it. You could list activities that are excluded from copyright. So in Japan, they allow for broadcast of items for education. And another option is to create flexible guidelines. So in the US, this comes across as fair use. And with fair use, there's a 4-factor test. So this 4-factor test includes the purpose and character of your use, the nature of copyrighted work, the amount of the portion taken, and the effect on the market. So I could use an example of a textbook, right? So If a professor wanted to use a textbook and they wanted to use half of the book, so you're using it for education. The work is copyrighted so that the author and publisher can make money, and half of a textbook is a pretty substantial amount, and that could cause students not to buy it in the market. So it could affect the market. So that's just an example of applying the 4-factor test. That wraps up demystifying copyright. Here's some of the sources I used. A lot of them are from the Creative Commons certificate for educators, as well as one reference to the law. Demystifying Copyright is licensed under CC by 4.0 by me, Cynthia Kramer. I'm affiliated with Joliet Junior College. All images provided by Microsoft Designer in PowerPoint, and the images may be AI generated.